Egypt's deep divisions, it's there for all to see. About 4 meters high and made of concrete blocks, these barriers have been put up to protect the president's palace from the next big protest. Only a small group of demonstrators is being grudgingly tolerated just outside the palace gates. But within the opposition movement itself, there are also emerging differences. Those can most clearly be felt in the way that the demands of the street have moved beyond the more limited political demands of its leaders. Just listen to the chants from the recent rallies. Leave, leave is what they're telling President Morsi.
From my viewpoint, it's a very big mistake to get divided and to be set against one another. If the Muslim Brotherhood would fight together with the protesters in a more free constitutional approach, in a more not dividing approach, not to take over the whole country, to change it to their picture, if they would fight together with the protesters, you would simply continue the revolution which has been finished in a way when Mubarak was taken out of office or was leaving the office. So from my viewpoint, it's not a good thing to be divided, to be set against one another, to have the Christians, the Copts, the secular guys being set against the people from the Muslim Brotherhood or from the conservative Islamic side of the revolution. So from my viewpoint, it is something like the people from behind seem, from the military, also from the old establishment, seem to be pulling the whole agenda in the direction of a civil war in Egypt. So this is a destabilizing movement and a destabilizing thing which is developing there, and it's totally unnecessary from my viewpoint for Egyptian revolution guys to be to fight one another. It doesn't make sense at all, and from my viewpoint, very easily to be solved. The Muslim Brotherhood could very easily open the constitutional process again and could change the draft so that it is not so exclusionary Islamic, so that it's more open, so that they don't fight a battle in their period of setting up a constitution. If they need to fight that battle, and if the Islamic society, if the Islamic people and the society is Islamic, they may decide whatever they want according to their constitution, but they should change their way of doing so. They should change their approach. They should simply change the draft and reopen the process to debate with the opposition in a different way. So
now compare that to the Lang.
And for sure, it's a problem for the opposition, for the liberal and secular movement, that they are divided right now. And in a way, that's a power struggle also between the Muslim Brotherhood, the Islamic tendencies, the more conservative Islamic tendencies. You also could probably simply have a more open approach of conservative Islam backed by Qatar and by Saudi Arabia. So from my viewpoint, it's not good to have the division in a way you have it right now, because it's unnecessarily polarizing parts of the society against one another. And there is no need for Al Jazeera, no need for Islamic clerics, and very, very important, there is no need for the Muslim Brotherhood at all to polarize against Christians, against Copts, against seculars, against whatever, because the former enemy, the former problem of Egypt is the military and is the old establishment. So they are behind the scenes now, they are out of the fire right now, they are out of the focus of the debate, and so you have exactly what you never wanted to have. You have a divided revolution in the end, and not a divided part of the revolution in the opposition to the Muslim Brotherhood. And if it's only about power and rulership, well, the Muslim Brotherhood has to deal with the military in any case, because they are financed from the United States, they're financed from America, and so for that reason it is not good to be divided. You have to move in a different direction to have a more open constitutional draft and discussion. And for that reason, it's not good also for Al Jazeera, which is doing some kind of different report on that. This is the English version, but if you look to the Al Jazeera Arabic version, you very, very much see a very strong support of the Muslim Brotherhood, and that's very easy to be understood as, well, they support Morsi, and they support the more Wahhabite and Salafi Islamic directions in that countries, and the clerics and the theology and Islam is supported by Saudi Arabia and by Qatar. So Al Jazeera Arabic is doing a different kind of report, and well, they might be right.
Which of the National Salvation Front, the main group of opposition politicians.
In all honesty, the situation is clear for a large segment of the Egyptian people, and this is the rejection of this draft constitution and the referendum.
Hossam is a student fully immersed in the anti-Morsi.
And what else could they do? The Muslim Brotherhood has moved away from the goals of the revolution at that point of time, as supported by Al Jazeera, in a different way. So they only can assume that the revolution is hijacked now from the Muslim Brotherhood and is changed to their goals. So why should the Muslim Brotherhood not simply leave the approach and the constitution draft more open, more inclusive, not including, but more inclusive, more open, not so strongly implementing the Sharia into the constitution in an ungood way? You can still be an Islamic country with a more open conservative approach as a Muslim, from my viewpoint.
Politics of the street. He says they've now moved beyond the finer points of constitutions and referenda.
Our political elite want to annul the constitutional declaration and re-establish the Constituent Assembly. But most of the youth protesting here just want to bring down the regime, because we removed the head of the former regime and his
And
aides,
probably
but the regime
they see a merge between the military and the Muslim Brotherhood, so they think the old establishment is making a settlement with military, not with military, but the old establishment is part of the military, is making a settlement with the Muslim Brotherhood. Maybe this has already happened, so they are skeptical and they cannot agree on that, and so that will divide the country. That's not good.
remain the same under Morsi. He's no different than Mubarak.
And Al Jazeera is writing and storytelling it down. It's scripting the whole opposition movement against Morsi down with it, because they describe the separation and they build it up in a way. And for sure it's true, there is a division in that, but anyway.
Opposition powers need to realise this scene around them and make sure the masses are supporting them and emphasise why they oppose the constitution.
Well, anyway, I pray and hope that there will be change in Egypt and that this will be good.